What is going on, guys? It's me, Mojo Jojo Plays, back again with another episode of Total Extreme Wrestling. This is a different show today. This is still 21st Century Wrestling. However, recently I've had the idea we're going to have a B show. They'll be part of the same episode if I, decide to book it that way. If not, these will just be done in the background, and if anything interesting happens, I'll let you know, things like that. But, yeah. This is basically my version of NXT or like main event before the show. So this is done the exact same day as the main show, A show, Best of British Wrestling. This is Next Gen, where we're gonna have a mixture of the rookies and some of the older guys that aren't quite there yet, but are a lot higher up the card than these rookies are. That's why you see guys like Beast Bantam, and then you see everyone else's, and like Kelvin Badbury. They're a bit older, but not quite where I want them to be, and they can help bring these new guys up a bit. So yeah, I've already accidentally spoiled something here, but yeah, we'll go into this straight away. We're gonna start the show. I wish the main show was first, but it's not. So we start off with Jeff Nova introducing the general manager of Next Gen, or like the main guy of Next Gen. Now, this guy, if you're familiar with the C-verse, or if you're familiar with the British wrestling in the C-verse, you'll know exactly who this is. This is the Highland Warrior. He was the main owner or booker of, I forgot the company's name, MOSC, which is the old British company, went bankrupt. He hasn't been on television in the UK in this universe for about 10 years, because I have a feeling that 21st Century Wrestling ran him out of business. But Jeff Nova has seen that he's still pretty intelligent wrestling mind, and is the best guy to have as the general manager here on Next Gen. So yeah. The announcing is going to be pretty bad, because I've literally put together a makeshift announcing people just so they're getting used. But yeah, Jeff Nova comes out and he's like, "Welcome everyone to Next Gen, where we will showcase the best young wrestlers in the world today." But I don't have the time to run around and run both shows and run everything in this company, so I've decided to get a little assistance. And that's when Highland Warriors music plays and Jeff Nova introduces him as the new general manager. And Highland Warrior says something along the lines of, he is here, he's gonna call it straight down the middle. He's basically William Regal. He's not gonna be here much, he'll be around when he needs to be. And he is here to make sure that these young talent get the exposure and the experience that they need to become big stars in this company. And then they announce the first match. So because this isn't going to be great, because they're all pretty bad. Hugh Boulder has broke his toe, which is also not good. Compton Valance was really off his game. I've messed this up already, but oh well. Boulder and Flynn defeated the Demolishers after 13 minutes, when Darren Flynn submitted Compton Valance with a prodigal pressure. Darren Flynn carried the match. Yeah, he is just by far the best wrestler out of all of them, which is weird because he's the least popular out of all of them. Obviously, there's no experience. They're not very experienced, so this was just a showcase of the young guys that we have on the roster, on the Next Gen roster. And unfortunately, Boulder looks like he might be out for a while. We'll look into that after this match, or after the actual day of shows, which kind of sucks. Was it due to a botch? No. Up next, we have Kelvin Badbury defeating Vinny Vigilante with a berry crush. This is literally, Vinny Vigilante is a very young fighter. Kelvin Badbury is a bit older, but he is he's not great. His ratings are not great. He's just here to well, he's just here. Next we have Philharmonic. So this is a guy I really do want to push. He's going to be still used on the main show as well, but he's mainly probably going to be one of the main guys on Next Gen for a little while. Philharmonic comes out, even though he's 18 and he's been wrestling for a month. Well, less than, yeah, about a month. He says he is far too good to be on Next Gen, and he doesn't know why Jeff Nova sent him here. But he says, whilst I am here, I suppose I can just show everyone how good I can be. I am going to run this division, and everyone else better watch out. I'm only going through this very briefly because it's only a B show. It doesn't matter. Low experience. Crowd's not very interested. Right. Then we have Beast Bantam. He comes out and he says that he is the main boss around at Next Gen. He's the guy that the others need to prove themselves most to before they become the big stars that Highland Warrior thinks they can be. The Beast Bantam is the guy. He's going to make sure that everyone that's not worthy is pushed out the way. That's what he says here. He's rated on, but because nothing else happened, it's only a 50 rated. And the main event is a 47 rated. Not much heat. Bad wrestling. Beast Bantam defeated Evan Allpass. He's one of my also up and coming guys I really like the look of. He's in a storyline with Hellbound already with the rest of the rookies. However, I might have to change one of them because he broke his toe. Anyway. The Beast Bantam here and Evan Allpass. Right. That's a decent main event. Inexperienced Evan Allpass, yeah, he's a bit fatigued as well. He needs to get his stamina up by the looks of things. The show was a 45 rating. Nothing changes because it's a B show, but you know, Beast Bantam did a decent main event, 58 rated match. Evan Allpass was pretty good. We're gonna finish that show there. Now, whilst we're here, what's his name? Who was injured? Blue Boulder. Personal. Where is it? Where is it? Where would it be? Broken toe. How long? Medical. 6 days. Okay, he's fine. Blue Boulder's fine. He just won't be on the show tonight, unfortunately. He has broke his toe. Was it due to a botch? No. That's a first. Okay. But yeah, that was the first episode for Next Gen. Pretty okay, I suppose. It went better than I thought it would. Fortunately, injured. So next, we are going to move on to our main show, the A show, the big show. Well, it's the big show time. Okay, sorry, that was a bad joke. Anyway, I'll see you all then. I need to book it quick. And we are back. So this is the actual show now. Best of British Wrestling. This is the main show. And Philharmonic is here again to kick us off. So he comes out to the ring first. The crowd is kind of but Philharmonic goes, Tommy Cornell, you ruined everything. I was about to make my pay-per-view debut against a main eventer in Adam Matravers, and you decided that because your annoying little cousin wouldn't come to the show, that you would come and ruin my main event. I had that in the bag, and because you decided to show up in the last minute and declare yourself for the match, you completely threw off my game plan that I had. How do you feel about that? And then Tommy Cornell, he comes out to the ring, massive ovation, as there always is for Tommy Cornell because he's the best. Tommy Cornell says, "Hey, Phil, can I call you Phil? Phil, you're still a rookie here. You've got your whole career ahead of you. You don't need to rush anything." And Phil taken back. He's like, "Oh." He doesn't say anything. He's just stood there, like he's a bit taken aback that Tommy's sort of complimenting him. He's saying, "You did." Tommy goes, "You did okay at the pay per view, but me and Adam have been here for years, and you know, once you've been here for as long as we have, then you'll be able to handle that pressure that we put upon you last night, or last week, or whatever it was, last Saturday." Philharmonic's just like, "Oh, no, alright." He's still acting like tough, but inside he's probably thinking like, "Yeah, that's fair, I suppose." But he's trying to still blame Tommy for everything. When all of a sudden, by the way, that was a 92 rate segment. Good start, great start to the show. We have another 100 rated segment because Tommy and Edward Cornell are OP. So Edward Cornell now comes out to the ring. I've probably used Philharmonic too much already. That's gonna be a problem. But Edward Cornell comes out to the ring and says to Tommy, "Tommy, you've made a massive mistake." Comes out with BW Eddie, his little friend, and goes, "Tommy, you've made a massive mistake. I told you what would happen if you went to that pay per view, or if anyone went to that pay per view." Ignore that BW Eddie was on the pre-show. Doesn't say that. That's just he's like, "I told you not to go to that show. You deliberately went against my orders as the leader of the house of business, and there will be repercussions for this." And as this is going, Philharmonic is about to pull the mic up to his mouth to start talking again, when BW Eddie just super kicks him straight away and throws him out the ring. Just quickly disposes of Philharmonic. So it's heels against heels. Philharmonic, he kind of leaves. He's had enough for the night. First, he's been embarrassed by being on Next Gen television, and now he's being embarrassed by being super kicked by BW Eddie. Tommy Cornell says, "Listen, the Cornells, we're fighting champions. We love a fight, and you have deliberately decided you're not going to." So I have heard little birdie talking backstage that you have a match tonight, Edward, and it is against Adam Matravers, my good friend from the pay-per-view the other night, and you'll be defending your British Heavyweight Championship in tonight's main event. Edward Cornell is pissed. So that's the end of this segment. 100 rated segment. Very good. DJ Reason is a very good road agent as well, which is amazing. Then we have our first match. Michael X versus Antithesis. This is just to get people on the show that haven't been on the show for a while. So, decent match. They were holding back a little bit, mainly because there's no actual storyline. Antithesis is aging as well. But Michael X defeats Antithesis with an XDT, which I assume is I'm going to assume that is like a DDT, but when he completely flips around or something. That's what I'm assuming the XDT is. So yeah, a decent match. Not the best, but I mean, there's no storyline, and these guys are just a bunch of mid-carders, so they've got no story yet. Next segment, we have Rolling Johnny Stones comes out to the ring. Because at the pay-per-view, Wade Orson had a match against Philip Cooper, and Rolling Johnny decided to interfere with that match and cost Wade Orson the win. And he comes out now to explain why he did such a thing. He says, "Over the past 4 years in 21st century wrestling, I have had issues with you, Wade Orson. First, you put me on the shelf for a couple months with a really bad concussion, and you took months out of my career when I was in my prime. Now, now you're finally getting the repercussions from that. So, you've taken up all of my screen time. So, for the next few weeks, any time that you decide to show your ugly face here at Best of British Wrestling, or at any 21st Century Wrestling show, I will be here and I am going to make your life a living hell. So yeah, go through some actual real life heat between these guys. Rolling Johnny Stones, he unfortunately was concussed by Wade Orson in the past, which is unfortunate. And Rolling Johnny is getting his revenge now. Don't know why he didn't 4 years ago, but he's getting it now. 77 rated segment, much better. Then we have a match from Rolling Johnny Stones when he wins by a roll up and getting a handful of tights against Ricky Storm. Ricky Storm, however, 73 rated performance, pretty good. 63 rated match, not bad for one of these shows. If only I'd put the storyline involved in this, it might have worked. But yeah, Rolling Johnny got 65, Ricky Storm got 73. I think Ricky Storm is the better performer of Crouch and Storm Hidden Sifu. I'm just going to say that tag team name in full every single time. Yeah, Rolling Johnny Stones. He's trying to show he's still got it. He had a match against Ricky Storm, and he cheats to win. And we have their next segment where the the Men of Steel come out and say at the pay-per-view, we very easily disposed of our opponents, Crouching Storm, Hidden Sifu. Says it again. And honestly, that was one of the easiest matches of my life. Those guys are nowhere near our level, and they need to step back and let somebody else have a go. Because, I mean, I'm bored of fighting them. I only fought them once. I'm bored of fighting them, and frankly, we want better competition because we need to prove to all of you that we are the best tag team in 21st Century Wrestling. And we can't do that without us fighting the best of the best every week. So they are heels, but they're also kind of trying to act up to the crowd and being like, yeah, I mean, Crouching Storm, they're not very good. I know they're fan favourites. They're not good enough for us. We need better competition. Come on, 21st Century booking people, do better. Then we have the return of Roly Muckletruck. He was on the first show where he literally just bumped into these guys backstage and they were really sarcastic to him. And he now comes out to the ring as the big angry Scottish man. I'm not going to do a Scottish accent, don't worry. And Roly Muckletruck basically says, you guys need to shut your mouth. You are not the best tag team in this company. You're not even the best tag team in England at this point, because he's fought in Scotland. He's had some nice Scottish fighters back there. You're not even the best tag team in England right now. You only won that match because you had your big angry war machine come and destroyed your opponents. And frankly, I'm not having it. I hate you guys. The 21st Century fans hate you guys. And I'm going to make it my mission that you guys lose that title to somebody more deserving. End of segment. Right, this is annoying. We had a match. Edison Silva. He hasn't actually had a match in the entire 4 weeks I've been here, so I felt bad. So I gave him a match against Joe Simpson, and they hate each other. They don't hate each other, they've got bad chemistry. Very awkward. Edison Silva, decent match against Joe Simpson. He won with a grounded knee flurry. He's an MMA guy, so I'm imagining that's by knockout, and then pinned him. Oh yeah, I forgot. She's a manager. Very poor. Damn it. She needs a new gimmick already. So this is Rachel Deerhart. I wanted her to be a manager of a stable, but now I have a new plan for that stable. So she's kind of here to help the Michael X and Joe Simpson. How did she? She did okay. There's nothing there to say she did bad. But the match overall, 52 rated. Unfortunate for Edison Silva and Joe Simpson. Next we have Apollo Prince, Brickhouse Border, and Daniel Black Francis come to the ring. Don't come to the ring. Prince says, at the pay-per-view on Saturday, I proved to you all that Daniel Black Francis is not as good as he used to be. And, well, once again, a lot of these storylines are pretty similar now that I think about it. Oh well. But Apollo Prince basically says, I mean, I'm on a different level right now. I proved to you all that Daniel Black Francis is not as good as he used to be. And, I mean, do you guys seriously think that he can even get close to me in the form that I'm in right now? And he reveals his new friend, the Brickhouse Border, the big angry Frenchman, as I called him. And yeah, he basically says that me and Border here, we are gonna run riot through the 21st century roster, and I will be 21st century heavyweight champion in no time at all. So yeah. Daniel Black Francis then comes out to the ring halfway through and then goes, listen here, Apollo, you know damn well, you know full well that you only won that match because you had your big angry Frenchman there to come and distract me so that you could get your roll-up victory. No, it wasn't a roll-up, but let's go with it. And frankly, I'm not happy. I'm not impressed. You were so adamant that I'm nowhere near, like that I'm not on your level, but then you had to cheat to prove that you were on my level. So, as far as I can tell, you were afraid of me, and you needed help to beat me. So you're still not good enough to face me. And they get into an argument. They stare at each other in the ring. Brickhouse Border doesn't do anything this time. They just argue in the ring for a while. Then the segment ends. Next, this is kind of just my little funny storyline. Unfortunately, lost heat, but we have I've added Sebastian Coller to the storyline because I had nothing to do for him, and he is a big star in the making. So basically, Luke Cole and Lee Burton are walking around backstage, just hanging out because they're best buds. When they suddenly hear guitar music and they're confused at what's going on. Like, why is someone playing a guitar at a wrestling show? That's a bit weird. They walk around the corner, and Sebastian Coller is sitting there playing his guitar and singing a song for Miss Holly Leaves here. Holly Leaves is obviously she's the one that Lee Burton and Luke Cole kind of like. So Sebastian Coller is just kind of flirting with her openly in the locker room, just as you do. And yeah, it's pretty funny, to be honest. This is just kind of the storyline I had for these guys. It's not like the best thing I could come up with, but I wanted to use this Cole versus Burton storyline and didn't want to turn one of them face, so I added Sebastian to it. I know I could have easily have cancelled this storyline, but I wanted to run with it for a little bit just because it was one of the default ones. So yeah, they just spot her backstage flirting with Sebastian Coller, or Sebastian Coller's flirting with her. Whether she's reciprocating or not, nobody knows. But yeah, these two are not happy that Sebastian Coller is trying to steal their girl. Then we have a decent tag team match, because there wasn't a tag match on this show, so I booked one. Absolutely Flawless versus the Red Devils of House of Business. Absolutely Flawless actually lose after Victor Beshov submitted Lance Martin with the Red Devil lock. I kind of did this because these guys were annoyed that they were left off the show. These guys weren't as bad, but these guys were annoyed that they were left off the pay-per-view. So I wanted to give them a win on this show to kind of show that, I still have plans for them. There's no storyline, so yeah, that kind of sucks, but that's why it's a 58 rated match. Oh, and the main event sucks. I forgot he was injured. So, in a match that had good wrestling and great heat, Edward Cornell defeated Adam Matravers in 16 minutes by pinfall with a black lightning bomb following interference from BW Eddie. Edward Cornell makes defense number 5 of the 21st Century World title. So, basically, Edward Cornell did not want to do this fight. He kind of had to because he didn't fight at the pay-per-view, and Jeff Nova would not be too impressed if his main champion decided not to show up. But yeah. So it's only a 72 rated. That would be better. So hopefully the show's not too bad compared to the other ones. Unfortunately, I forgot he was injured. So yes. Yes! We have finally passed the the thing that we were meant to do. I forgot what it's called. They needed at least 77 rated shows, and we have a 79 rated show. Finally, I'm getting the hang of this game. So it increased our popularity in 33 regions, which is good. Pretty decent show actually. Great segments, great matches actually as well. Except for well, actually they were all just great segments. Carried this show. The matches were awful compared to the actual segments. But yeah, Edward Cornell finally had his match. 84 rating, pretty good. I can't wait for my next pay-per-view main event I've got planned for Edward. We'll get to that when we get to that. We've got another 7 or 8 shows to go between them, but obviously B shows don't count. So we've got about a month's worth of shows to go before the next pay-per-view, which is London Calling. Right. So let's skip forward here because that was a much better show than the last one. So thank God. Now let's see what it says here for us. Where is Best of British Wrestling? It's positive. A lot of people liked the show. Great. Victor Beshov is a star in the making, according to Lee Burton, who is also a star in the making. Good to know. We had more viewers this time, which is great. And Adam Matravers needs a break because he is severely tired and injured. Not severely injured, but he's just knackered. So yeah. Next Gen, and he felt badly let down. What did you expect? That show actually goes out in a few days' time, so it's not on the same day. It's hang on, I'll show you quick. So it's shown on a Sunday, so this will be shown after pay-per-views, which is weird. Yeah. I need to make a little logo for it. I'll probably make something along the lines of that, or at least just use the 21st Century logo. Anyway. That, I think, is it. We'll look at the storylines quick to see how they're doing. 74 is considered hot. Nice. So Apollo and DBF are doing great. Cool and Burton, 65 is hot, so they're doing okay. That's the Too Cool. I'm going to change this older storyline. I'm going to change its name to Too Cool. There we go. This is a new one I haven't started yet. I accidentally spoiled that. This one wasn't on the show today, so I forgot to do that. King of Cruiserweights, it's not on there either. Land of the Giants was not done on the show either. Wade Awesome versus Roland Johnny Stones, 73, so that's up there, which is great. War of the Cornells is 94, so that's completely fine. Three-Man Army is a 67, so that's fine. So all of my main storylines that I'm like my serious ones are doing good. That's all I care about at the moment. I know I can get the others up a bit higher as well, but I just ran out of time on the show to book the Hellbound today, and they were kind of the lowest priority to get on the show. I'll be totally honest. Obviously, these ones will be more on this one will be more on the other show. Same with Land of the Giant. So all of my main storylines are doing well. which is good. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. Next episode will be a rundown of the first month once we get over to February. Well, I'll go through everyone briefly to see, well, everyone that I think is important to see how we're doing, like the first month in review. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.